Greetings and welcome, and happy Father's Day. I thought today would be a good time to show something from my dad's collection, and that's his PSA run of his favorite baseball player, Ken Boyer. My dad isn't a big PSA guy, but I was once showing and explaining to him the PSA registry, and he took off on a Ken Boyer PSA spree, even though he has all these cards raw. My dad grew up a Cardinals fan and has always been a Boyer fan since he was a kid. My uncle, his brother, was a Yankee fan, and his favorite player was Ken's brother, Cleet, which made the 1964 World Series between the Cardinals and Yankees even more special between them. Personally, and I am biased, but I do think Boyer should be a Hall of Famer, and I would love for that to happen while my dad can still see it. Boyer is the best Cardinal who isn't in the Hall of Fame, and the only Cardinal to have his jersey retired not in Cooperstown. He got 11 All-Star nods. He was the 1964 MVP and a 5-time Gold Glove winner. His career numbers probably aren't where they need to be, but Boyer got a late start. He didn't make his debut until he was 24 years old, and that was because he was drafted into the Army and spent 2 years overseas during the Korean War. And not making his debut until 1955, which is also his rookie card. I don't think it's implausible that without serving in the military, he develops before he turns 24 and has another year or two in the majors and increases his career stats. Boyer's second season in '56, he did not suffer a sophomore jinx and hit 26 homers with 98 RBIs and was selected to his first All-Star game. I really like 56 cards. This is probably my least favorite Boyer card. I do think it's a pretty card, but the image on the left of him fielding, it looks like he misplayed the ball, which is just uncharacteristic. So I just can't get over that every time I look at this card. So even though I really kind of like it, it's probably my least favorite of his. But one of my favorites, and that was 1957. I love that Cardinal logo on his shoulder. 57 was the only year Boyer played center field for the Cardinals. He volunteered to move to allow Eddie Casco to play his natural position. And Boyer in 1957 would lead all National League outfielders in fielding percentage. In 1958, the Cardinals acquired Curt Flood from Cincinnati. Casco was injured, so Boyer moved back to third, where he would win his first of 5 Gold Gloves. In 1959, he would have a 29-game hitting streak for the Cardinals, just 4 shy of the team's record held by Rogers Hornsby. And along with card number 325, he was also card 557 for the set for the 59 All-Star. In 60 and 61, Boyer would lead the Cardinals in batting average, home runs, and RBIs. In 1960, he had that Topps, and he was also had a 1960 Leaf card, which I like the black and white. And in 1961, he would hit 329 and would be named team captain. Now in 62 and 63, his stats would drop and he'd be hitting below 300. And there's his 2 cards from 1962. But hitting below 300, he still hit 24 home runs, which from the years 1961 to 1964, in those 4 years, he had exactly 24 home runs. And in 1963, he would win his last Gold Glove. Also in 63, one of my favorites too, he was portrayed on the 63 Fleer, which I love that set. The 1964 season was his best. I'm going to throw the top stand up as well on here, the 64. 64, he was named the MVP. He was the MVP, and which he finished that off with a clutch World Series performance against his brother and the Yankees. In Game 4, Boyer would hit a grand slam off of Al Downing to give the Cardinals a 4-3 victory. And in Game 7, he had 3 hits, including a double and a home run, and scored 3 runs as the Cardinals won the series. Cleat would also homer in the 7th game, making them the only brothers to both homer in the same World Series game. In 1965, that was Boyer's last season as a Cardinal, and he would start developing back issues. Also in 65, had the World Series Game 4 Grand Slam card, which I think is pretty cool. And also the NL RBI leaders with Ron Santo, Ken Boyer, and Willie Mays. In 1966, Boyer was traded to the Mets for Al Jackson and Charlie Smith. In 1967, Boyer started the season with the Mets, but was traded to the White Sox, who was a pennant contender. And there he was reunited with Sox manager Eddie Stanky, who managed the Cardinals in Boyer's rookie season. In 68, he would be released by the White Sox and signed by the Dodgers, where he would not be a day-to-day player anymore, but he would still hit .271 coming off the bench. And his last card, player era card, was in 1969. And he finished his career with the Dodgers before he would retire and become a coach in the Cardinals minor league system, and would ultimately become a Cardinals manager in 1978. Now these cards, some of the cards I showed that he has aren't part of the Boyer's basic set, but part of the master set. And he also has this 1975 Robinson and Boyer. But the only card that I have gifted him for this, and it is this 1957 Swift Meats card. If you turn it around, it's kind of the same. And it's the only card that I have added to my dad's Boyer collection. And it was just something I got for him for his birthday. Kids used to be able to take them out and kind of make, as you can kind of see, you can poke them out and make kind of 3D paper statues with these. They're not rare by any means, but there's not a ton of them out there with, because most of them were poked out. Again, though, they're not rare. So there's something from my dad's collection on this Father's Day. To all the fathers out there, I hope you enjoy the day. If you're a father, or if your father is still with you, enjoy the time you have. I know being a father has been the most rewarding part of my life. I really enjoy every second of it. Watching my kids grow has given me an appreciation of every day, which I did not have before. But happy Father's Day. Enjoy the day and enjoy your collection.